Good morning. Happy Monday. So, in the video I made yesterday, I was talking about slimming tea. And I wanted to go through this with you because I do use this from time to time. I do like to flush. It's really good for, especially men over the age of 40. You can have as much as 30 pounds of undigested red meat and other things in your intestines, and this cleans you out well, and it can prevent cancers, and it can prevent just all kinds of problems, digestive issues, and it can reduce the bulk in your body. It did for me by almost half. It's really good tea. It's written all in French here. Super slimming tea, super slimming tea, tisane, but it's Chinese. This is a brand that I really, really like. It's called Triple Leaf brand. I want to give you a few cautions about this. Now, I know a lot of people are very familiar with slimming tea. It says pour homme femme, which means basically for men and women. No caffeine. And it is 100% natural. It's organic. Slimming tea is almost uniformly organic. There's an awful lot to read on all sides of this box. There's a ton of stuff to read, and I suggest you do it. Inside the box are the tea bags. This is a bagged tea, one of the few bagged teas that I actually indulge in. Here you are. There's a few cautions. Number one, the body is a really delicate, balanced system, and that has to do with specifically enzymes and salts and different electrolytes in your body as well. And you have to really be mindful whenever you take anything that's a diuretic, for example, or something like this, which is a colon cleansing kind of a thing. This can make you feel terrific. After just a few days, you start feeling lighter, and you really feel good after just a short period of time with this tea. But it can cause a lot of problems, and one of the main problems that it can cause, obviously this will loosen your stools, and obviously it will deplete things like your potassiums and your sodiums. It will deplete even cardiac enzymes. And the way you counter that is fruits, particularly bananas, oranges, tangerines, different kinds of fruits. Blueberries are really good. Blackberries, raspberries, different kinds of berries are really good to replace what you're losing from your body, because believe me, you're losing. The guy that introduced me to slimming teas said, "Oh, no problem at all. When I'm doing this, because 40 days is kind of the standard that everybody will tell you, and I believe it is a correct date." Yeah, this is that herbal tea. It smells kind of peppery. It smells like wild mustard, wild pepper. But a lot of people will tell you 40 days is a standard, and this guy was telling me, well, I do 2 of these at a time, and once or twice a day. So 2 bags of this at the same time, once or twice a day for 40 days. And I'm like, my gosh, why are you still upright and breathing in and out? I mean, you should weigh 12 pounds. But because this is potent. I mean, it takes only 1 bag of this to get the system started. After your 2nd bag, that's the time you need to be near the bathroom. But it works. It's a flushing thing. It's a cleansing thing. It works. But you got to be careful that you basically don't. There's a phrase in medicine called dumping, where your body starts throwing off fluids, because this will also make you urinate a lot as well. Your body starts throwing off fluids, but in the process, it's also throwing off things that the body needs, and that's called dumping. And this will cause that. Okay, so you have to be careful. In as much as this has a ton of good properties, good things that it does for the body, one thing that it also has is these harmful effects. If you take it to extreme, if you take it to excess. The old phrase, too much of a good thing is a bad thing, definitely applies to super slimming tea. Again, this is Chinese. I've never seen, although I've seen other types of Chinese or other types of slimming teas, I've never seen one that is as good as this. And this is made by Triple Leaf. And I buy this here in the San Francisco Bay Area. You've got Oriental markets, Asian food markets, even Arabic food markets on just about every corner. there's a ton of them, and that's where I buy them. There's one here in town that I go to a lot, and it costs probably $4, so it's not really expensive. I'm trying to see how many. There's 20 tea bags in here, so this is good literally for 20 days. You don't want to really overdo this. If you want to do one in the morning and one in the evening, I guess you could do that, especially in the beginning, but there will come a time when you only want to do one a day. And you never want to do this more than about 40 days in a row. 40 days is kind of the standard, and that's what I've done it before. But recently I saw on television, I think it was Dr. Oz who was telling his audience that any kind of a flushing, any kind of a cleansing that you do should not exceed 30 days. So I guess that's your call what you want to do. This is, it's not a delicate tea. And again, it smells like the wild mustard or wild pepper plants out at Camp Pendleton, basically, is where I remember this from. But it is a very robust tea. When you put this in the cup of hot water, I'm not going to mix this up because I have no intention of drinking this today. When you put this in a cup of hot water, it's almost clear. You really don't see a lot of color. But the taste just grabs you immediately. It is not a pleasant taste. It's not an ugly taste. It's just kind of in between. It's one of those things that's very tolerable to drink. I mean, you can drink it without really retching or whatever, but it's just not terrific. I certainly would not consider drinking this recreationally, for sure. But it does work. Super Slimming Tea from Triple Leaf brands, I can tell you that it does work. Don't overdo it. Don't do it to any kind of extreme. Don't do anything any kind of extreme. And as you might have noticed, if you're following the teas that I've been featuring on my channel, you'll notice that a lot of them do help you with your bowels. Tea, if it doesn't come from a bag, is actually pretty good with your digestive system, in most cases, if it's not real strong. Typically caffeine helps that along. This particular tea has no caffeine in it, and it will not keep you awake unless you have to run to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But I recommend this for somebody who really wants to cleanse, or even somebody who has constipation troubles. This is a lot. I think this is a lot better than the chocolated laxatives you can take, whatever, made from the Senesides preparations, whatever. This is a lot better than a chemical pill. This is a natural, organic, chopped up, otherwise unmessed with tea. And it works, and it is not necessarily gentle on your system, meaning to say, when it works, it really works, and you need to be near a bathroom if this works. And I hate to put it in those terms, but that is really the truth. But it's good in that it cleans you, it really cleanses you well, and it's got a lot of antioxidant effects to it too. So if you're not taking it to excess, and if you're not taking it for too many days, this is really good. This is really very good, and it has almost immediate results. I mean, it has first day results. Even first few hours results. But don't overdo it. And again, this is Super Slimming Tea by Triple Leaf Brands. It's a Chinese product. I don't know if you're going to find this in standard American food stores. I really don't. But it is it's potent, but it's good for the body. And a lot of people who've asked me, you know, what I would recommend for that particular issue, I always tell them 3-leaf super slimming, because it works, but it doesn't kill you. You know, it really, if you keep things under control and follow the instructions, it's actually really good. But I do recommend that you read every word that's on this box, and there's a lot of reading. You know, it's almost like, wow, I didn't know there'd be a quiz. But I mean, see, even on the bottom of the box, there's a ton of stuff to read, and you should really understand everything about this tea. It's good tea. It isn't something anybody should be frightened of, but it is something you should be careful with its usage. So, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.